Hey folks, this is Steve Garrison. We've got a great show for you today. Paul Nathan, a world-renowned magician, is going to not only do some magic, he's going to take questions from the floor and teach us magic. We expect this to take about 40 minutes. Paul, with no further ado.
Thank you so much, Steve. Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Hope you're all doing well. I can't actually hear anyone because we're set up in a webinar, so I'm just going to trust that you all are having a nice day. Do we have chat set up in this? I don't think we do because this is a webinar.
Yes,
is that right, Steve?
We have chat, and I'm monitoring the chat, Paul, in case the chat comes
You're
in.
monitoring the chat, okay, because
Yes,
I can't see it myself. So if you could monitor the chat, Steve, I'm gonna ask a couple of questions of people so that folks can feel actively involved. But first, let me do quick, just an overview of what my setup is here so that you guys can see it, so that you understand what's going on and you don't get lost in the technology. What I've got here is a little setup over here with a camera that faces down towards the table so that I can show you magic that's happening with my hands. And then we have, of course, the front-facing camera over here, and then we won't be actually cutting back to that hand cam because I don't need it for the show. But I just want you guys to get an idea that right down here, there's a camera that goes down to my hands, and that allows us to do magic tricks that that you can see down here. If I want to do card tricks or something, that allows us to do that. Just wanted to get that out of the way so that there's no confusion. With that, I want to introduce a friend of mine. Actually, she's my roommate here at Casablanca, where I live in San Francisco. This is Heather. Heather, can you come here and join me in a second? Heather actually just finished a developer conference for the Linux Foundation about 5 minutes ago, and she's agreed to help me out here. I'm gonna lower the camera a little bit for Heather. There we go. Heather, do me a favor. Just I need a pair of hands for this first trick. Now this is probably the first magic trick I ever learned. It's probably the first magic trick I ever learned, and it's one of my favorite magic tricks. It's a beautiful magic trick. It uses silk. This silk comes all the way from China town. It's very nice. I like to travel. This is silk. Good, feel the silkiness, Heather. Isn't
it's so soft.
It's nice. It's silk. Watch carefully, my friends, and watch carefully, Heather. Keep your eyes on the hands, not your hands on the eyes. The eyes. Don't look at me. Look at the hands. You're going to be confused. I'm going to work fast. I'm fat, but I'm quick. I'm sneaky. You got to be watching very carefully here. If you watch carefully, you'll see the silk. You'll see the silk go into the hand, and if you watch it very carefully, you'll realize that there's nowhere for the silk to go. I know. It's not between the fingers. It's not palmed anywhere. You can feel and see between each fingers. It's not there. Don't move, Heather. You see that? It's gross. I'll begin again. I'm going to do this slowly for you, just very, very slowly. Keep your eyes on the silk. Keep your eyes on the hand. One eye on the hand, one eye on the silk, one eye on this hand. Watch carefully. I'm going to move in even closer to the camera so that everyone can see. You can watch the camera, watch my hand, watch whatever you like. Just watch the silk. That's what I want you to do. Keep your eyes closely on it. If you watch very, very closely, again, it disappears. And if you see, you can feel between each finger, see between each finger. It's not there. It's gone. Now, magicians do use sleeves. I couldn't use mine. In this case, I hope you don't mind, Heather. I went ahead and used not my sleeve, but rather I used your sleeve. Thank you very much. You can step away for a moment, and I'll be needing you again in just a moment. Let me raise the camera back up there a second. That's just a quick bit of nonsense. Now, that's so fast. Sorry, dang. Sorry, was it Boyd there? So fast. Was I too quick? I'm sorry. I will slow it down for you. I apologize. I don't want to be too fast. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Boyd. Let me do something a little bit slower for you, a little bit slower. I want to be as slow as possible because I want there to be no doubt that what you're seeing is actual chicanery and not just me moving very, very quickly. Keep your eyes on these two coins. This is a Mexican coin. This is an American coin. This is copper. This is silver. Use your chat and tell me, do you prefer the silver coin or the copper coin here? Anyone, first one that says it gets it. Quick. Copper or silver?
Silver. We got
Silver,
oh,
copper, silver.
silver's
We've got
first,
two
I guess.
choices. Silver's first. All right, the silver coin. Silver coin goes into my pocket. And I don't think I could be more fair than this. The silver coin goes into the, actually, you know, I could be more fair than this. If I was cheating, I might have, you know, I should have gone with the copper coin. You said silver. Maybe I should have left the silver in the hand and took the copper coin away. So let's do this as slowly and as fairly as possible. The copper coin into the pocket. I'll put it in this pocket up here so you can see it. The hands never, this pocket is sewn shut. I'll put it in this pocket in here so you can see it. The hands never leave the camera. Keep your eye, actually, you know what, that wasn't fair either. Heather, do me a favor, come here a moment, would you please? Because I want to be absolutely fair about this. Heather, there's a silver coin and a copper coin. Which do you prefer?
Copper.
The copper coin, an excellent choice. Keep your eye on it, Heather. Get in close. Keep your eyes on here. You say you like the copper coin, so the silver coin, again, the silver coin gets placed into the pocket. Keep your eye on, did you see it go into the pocket? Did you watch it go? Heather, I was going pretty slowly there. I was going pretty slowly. Let's do this again. Do me a favor, because again, I'm doing this with my sneaky hands, and I'm sneaky and I'm quick.
Sneaky.
So I'm going to do this a little bit slower, and I'm going to let you do it. Would you please take that silver coin, just the silver coin, and place the silver coin into my pocket? Now, I can't be more fair than that. Heather has taken the coin. My friends, keep your eye on the coin. Now, it's going to happen, and you may even hear the moment when that second coin arrives.
Sound effects.
May not. Heather, do me a favor. Just, would you please take just the silver coin? I'm kidding. There's no silver coin there. It's just the copper coin. Go ahead and hold the copper coin. I'm kidding. There's no copper coin. My friends, that was a little bit slower. Hopefully you guys got to see that. Thank you so much, Heather. I'll take a second. Here's a little something for you. I was out the other night playing pool. I get
You had a
a little
problem.
intimidated by the guys.
Jeez.
What's that?
You had a problem there with those cards.
Yeah, I get a little bit intimidated by folks when they play the pool, because you know they got those fancy pool cues that screw together. I don't play pool. I play cards, so
Yeah.
I have to make these myself. My friends, I told you I wasn't going to do anything about tech, and so I told you I wasn't going to talk too much about tech, but I do want to take at least a moment to talk about what it is that Stellar does, because of course Stellar correlates across all your different security tools, and so I thought it'd be kind of fun if we took a moment to try and correlate the data on these cards. These are marked cards, and I don't know if you guys can see the markings on them. I want you to look at the back of these cards. I'm actually going to lift them up a little closer. Can you guys see the markings on these cards? This card here is the 5 of spades. This one is the 9 of hearts. This one is the King of clubs. The cards are marked. Now, it's a little bit difficult to see the markings on here, and the reason it's difficult to see the markings is the same reason why Stellar Cyber is so good at what it does, using advanced AI to correlate across all your different SIM logs, all your different UBA and NTA logs. This is what AI is good at. It's good at spotting small differences in large data sets. The human eye is not. The human eye and the human brain are not very good at this. But if you look at these cards, you can't tell. There's a slight difference in the in the backgrounds here. Now, I'm going to show you how to spot these, and it's not intuitive. It's the opposite of intuitive. But if you look at the I'm a little out of focus here. Let me just change the focus a little bit. There we go. There you go. Can you guys see the markings? They just jump right out at you. You guys see that there? Right there at the top.
Indeed.
Right by my thumb there.
Well, I see the
Now
ball.
that you've seen it, yeah, now that you've seen it, you kind of can't unsee it. Now you can see here, you can spot it. Oops, again, need to change the focus on this. There we go. With the focus changed, it makes it a little bit easier to see it. There you go. And now you can see that one's the 5 of spades, the 9 of hearts, the King of clubs, the 2 of diamonds. So that's something that the human eye is not very, very good at. Let's take that to the next logical step. What I'd like to do is get someone from the crowd to just name a card for me, any card at all. I've got a deck of cards here in my hand.
Three of clubs, Paul.
Three of clubs. That was the first one to come up.
That's
all right.
me, yeah.
Three of clubs. Oh, that's you.
That's Steve here, MC.
Okay, three of clubs right there. The three of clubs. Now, I'm not going to try and find that three of clubs. That would be easy, mundane. Y'all deserve better than that. Keep your eye on the three of clubs here. In the back of the deck, there's a little guy. You see the little guy right there? Underneath him is another one. Another one, each one slightly different than the one before. Here the arm is bent, here the arm is straight. That slight differentiation gives us the illusion of motion. Watch as the card comes to life. He reaches up and takes his hat off. He reaches into his hat and pulls out a card. He looks at the card and smiles because he knows it's your card. What was it, Steve? The three of clubs?
Three of clubs.
Smiles because he knows it's your card. The three of clubs.
How about that? And that was unplanned, Paul. I swear.
Steve, we talked about teaching people some tricks, and I'm going to do that in a second, but you said that you wanted to take a moment to answer questions. So someone asked who my favorite magician was.
Yes.
A guy named Tom Ogden, Magician of the Year a bunch of times. Two guys in Scotland called Morgan and West. They're really creative. They do really interesting magic shows. They got an interesting, really fun Twitter feed. Morgan and West, I think it's Morgan Magic, and I'm not sure what the other one is. But if you look them up, you can find their Twitter feeds. They're really, really fun, really interesting. Paul DeBeck, who was currently, well, until the virus shut everything down, he was the star of the Illusionists Broadway show. One of my closest friends and a really great magician. Frank Olivier, who's the star of Twisted Cabaret. Those are probably my favorites. They all have Twitter feeds. They all Morgan and West have probably the most interesting and magical Twitter feed. How do I differ from Penn and Teller?
That's a good one.
Nice. I'm nice. How do I differ from Penn and Teller? Teller's a better magician than me, and Penn's louder than I am. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
They have more money than I do.
That's probably true, Paul. Paul, we can wait for
Penn's
more
actually
questions.
mad at me because last time I was at his house, I wore his bathrobe in the pool. He was mad at me. Yeah.
Paul, how about another magic trick while we wait for more questions to come in?
Okay, I will give you your choice. I can do we have 10 minutes left, and I want to spend a couple of those minutes teaching a magic trick. I can do two tricks. One of them is really short and fast, but it's one of the ones that we did. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do this one because it's the one that you liked, Steve, from the videos. Now, if you guys saw the warm-up videos, then you've already seen this trick. Let me get this. It's super, super simple, but it's a trick that you guys can do yourselves. What you do is you can make this yourself. You get a little piece of cardboard. You put a dot on this side. On this side, you put 4 dots. So 1 dot on this side, 4 dots on this side. Over here, you put 3 dots. On this side, you put 6 dots. Now, once you have your 1 dot over here, your 4 dots over here, your 3 over here, and your 6 over here, you're ready to do the magic trick. What you do is you just show you, I'm kidding, I'm joking. Obviously, you can't have 1 on this side and 4 on this side, 3 on this side and 6 on. Any child knows that, and any child is going to bust you. And if you do this long enough, they're probably even going to figure out how it's done. It's a little optical illusion. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Super, super simple. You don't really have 6 dots over here. You have 5. You cover this one up, it looks like you have 4. You cover this one up, it looks like you have 6. You just do it with a fair amount of commitment and gusto, and it seems like you have one or the other. You just want to make sure that you're fairly committed to your premise here, and if you're committed to your premise, everyone will buy into your nonsense. So again, 1 over here, not really 1, it's actually 2. You cover this one up, it looks like 3. Cover this one up, it looks like 1. When you're doing this, there's a magic move. The move is this: you got to make sure your fingers stay together. If you spread your fingers out, people are going to see that you don't have that dot there. So you've got to make sure you keep your fingers together, or they're going to see that you're cheating. You don't want them to see you're cheating. If they see you're cheating, they're going to know that that you've done something shenanigans, and you don't want that to happen. If they do catch you, just show them this side and walk away. That's what I do. It seems to work for me.
Oh, thank you, Paul. That was my favorite one. I appreciate it. And by the way, all of the our YouTube channel, Stellar Cyber YouTube, you can see all 4 of Paul's videos up there. Feel free to watch them. They're free. They're entertaining. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, my pleasure, Steve. So I told you guys I was going to teach you how to do a trick, and so I've got 2 tricks for you today. One of them is a card trick, and I asked you guys to bring a deck of cards. I'm going to show you the card trick first. And Steve and I, you talked about this when we were warming up for this yesterday. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to post the instructions. We'll post them on the invite page to this show. They'll get posted next week. So you can go up there and you can see the instructions. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and shoot 2 videos that show you how to do these. So you'll have a video up there of each of them so you can watch it. But if you watch right now, it'll be pretty easy. And if you have a phone handy, get your phone out. You're going to want to take a photo of the screen in a moment, and that'll give you the setup for this first trick I'm going to do. This trick is a card trick. And it's actually, oh, now they're out of focus because I was up high. Now they're good. All right. So super easy trick, super easy, super simple. What you're going to do with this is you just count out 13 cards from your deck and you spell it out. O-N-E spells 1, which is your first. You can also spell ace either way. T-W-O spells 2. T-H-R-E-E spells 3. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4 gives you 4. F-I-V-E gives you 5. S-I-X gives you 6. There's S-E-V-E-N gives you 7. I like to do 8. E-I-G-H. T gives me 8. N-I-N-E gives me 9. I like to hand these around to people and let them do it themselves, but I don't have people to hand it around to. What do I got? T-E-N gives you 10. There's a J. A-C-K gives you Jack. Q-U-E-E-N gives you the Queen. And of course, there's the King. So super easy to do.
Yeah. Spelling
is rudimental.
Yeah.
No, reading is fundamental. That was it.
That too. Yeah.
So here's the instructions right there. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that or shoot it with your camera. That's all you need to know is that's the order of things. So the cards, once you do the trick, the cards are actually in order, more or less. So you're just going to take the 3, the 8, the 7, the ace, the queen, 6, 4, 2, jack, 10, 9, oops. Jack, king, 10, 9, 5. And now it's set up in order for you. And now you can just do your spelling. Like I said, what I like to do is if I have a little group of people, I'll just hand them out to people around and have them spell it out. And it gives a surprising amount of delight for people. They really seem to enjoy this. I'm going to show you another card trick that you can do. I'm going to show you one more card trick that you can do. This is super simple. What you do is, Heather, would you come here and pick a card for me, please? Let's come on down here. Okay, Heather, just grab a card. Look at it, remember it. Go ahead and place it back in the deck, anywhere you like. Excellent. Heather, your card has magically turned itself over in the deck. Magic, yay! And that is super easy to do. All I did was I turned over one of the cards before I started, and then when Heather, she picked a card out, and then as she was looking at the card, make sure to tell them to look at the card and remember their card. As she was doing that, I just turned the cards over like this, and then she slides the card back in, and then as I'm moving to turn them, to spread them out, I just reverse this card from the top. That's just a little fancy move that I do like that. But you can do it, kind of push it out and turn the cards over, however you want to do it. Anyway, however you do it, the one card will be reversed. And that's a nice, simple, easy to do card trick, super fast, fun for the kids. And your final trick is with a deck, set of matches. I need you to come here, Heather, one more time. Heather, this is a fun trick. It uses, I've got some matches here, and let's see if we can count these right here. I have, Heather, can you help count these? Mm-hmm. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes.
9 matches, okay? We're gonna take one of the matches out. Would you please take that, Heather? And remember to close the lid before striking. That's very, very important. Okay. Safety first. Go ahead and light the match on there, if you can do that. All right. Now, Heather, if you would hold the matchbook like that for me. All right. I want to get the smoke to come up into the matchbook. Excellent. Take the match and have it disappear. Turn the matchbook over and open it up, Heather. Keep it in front of the camera. And how many matches do you have in there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Same number of matches, and one of them is burnt, isn't it? Go ahead and take that one out.
That's tricky.
It's actually, look at that. Magic. Good job, Heather. All right, I'll show you guys how to do that. You find these matches at any bar when bars are open again. You probably have some sitting around the house, so it's super easy to do. What I like to do is I'll take a full pack and I'll pull some matches out till I have just a few matches left inside there. I like to have 6, 8, 10 matches in there because it's easier for you to count, easier for you to remember. You take one of the matches, you slide it out this way, and I can do a one-handed little match light. You may have to light it with another match, but you have one match that's burnt and you put that back in there like that. And now you're ready to do the trick. You just push it down under your thumb like that. You have them count the matches. And as you're doing that, you're really showing very, very cleanly and overtly that the matches are there. You're letting them see them. You're letting them count them. You're letting them become familiar with what's there. You have them take one of the matches out. They pull it out. Count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 7. And then you close them. And as you close them, you just bring this down like this, and that covers the action. So again, I have them close like this, and that covers the action. Make sure you, I like to get it nice and closed like that, and then you turn it over and you have them light the match, get the smoke on there, and then to make the match disappear, you just push that back with your finger as you take it in this hand. And if you do that under the matchbook, the way I did with Heather, it's really a nice cover, and then it disappears. And then they open it up and their match is in there. The count is correct and the match is stuck in there. So there we go. We're at 10:30 exactly right now. And I think that's a fun magic show.
That's fantastic, Paul. You know, by
Thanks so
popular
much, Steve.
demand, we will have you back. If we get a lot of email from the team today, that was fantastic. Please do another. We will work that. Thank you. Thank you for your assistant as well. It's really great to see a house work together. It takes a house to build magic, some joke like that. We do have a serious question.
If you guys enjoyed that, please send a note in to Steve. Let him know that it was successful and you had a good time.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be back. Yay.
Yeah. By popular demand. Maybe bring the Star Trek crew, but you can email us at sales@stellarcyber.a, steve@stellarcyber.ai. And we had a serious question about how we differentiate from Sims. I gave a funny answer about black magic, but Snehal, we're going to cut over to Snehal, Paul, in a second here, and he's going to do a demo to answer that question, how we actually solve real problems without black magic. That's kind of the hook on the show. And thank you, Paul. So we had some thank yous. So again, Paul, thank you so much for your team and your
thanks everyone
today. Put a smile on my face. Thanks so much. We're going to move over and make Snehal a host. I can see you're ready to roll.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Paul. Hello, everyone. This is Snehal Contractor. I'm the Vice President of Systems Engineering globally here for Stellar Cyber. I've got about 25 years of experience in security. What I want to show you is a quick demo on the Stellar Cyber platform here today. There will be no smoke and mirrors here for me. There is a lot of magic that's going on behind here, but a lot of it has to do with some of our phenomenal engineers who have developed the platform. So a question came up on how are we different with SIM? Let me start off with my dashboard here. The dashboard's main objective is to give a security analyst clear visibility of the most critical events that are happening in their network for the time period that's selected. So we're just staying at the last 5 hours here. You can select 24 hours or last 5 hours. So in the last 5 hours, the most you can see on my dashboard, I've got the most critical security events that are here. All of our security events are categorized to the cybersecurity kill chain. So why do we do that? A couple of reasons. The first reason is to identify which events I want to take an action on first. So the cybersecurity kill chain, just to review, is a series of steps that a bad actor has to take to steal data. Ultimately, the goal is to steal data from your network. So the first thing they do is they knock on the door. They try to come into the network. They may deliver a malware. They'll try to exploit a server. They may install something, establish a command and control channel outside, and then eventually exfiltrate or steal your data. So the exfiltration stage is where the data is leaving your network. So you can see I have 129 anomalous events in that stage. Those are the events that I would take a look at first. The second thing with the cybersecurity kill chain is Stellar Cyber is the only platform that addresses detections or has detections across the entire cybersecurity kill chain. If you take a look at traditional products that are out there, let's just say a sandbox tool like from FireEye, an IDS tool like SourceFire or any other. All of those individual tools will take a look at traffic or data from only certain parts. So here's just file data, here's looking for packet data and looking for exploits. We have detections across the entire cybersecurity kill chain because if we do miss it in one stage, we can get them in any other stages. So the great part about detection here is I only need to catch them once and they need to be successful in multiple stages to steal the data. So again, Stellar Cyber has detections across the entire cybersecurity kill chain. So let's talk about the SIM differentiator here, all right? And I'll take an example. What is a critical event? Here I can see I have 325 critical events in the reconnaissance stage. So I can click on this and it will show me all of my different security detections that I have in the reconnaissance stage. I'm gonna take an example here of user login failure. So what is user login failure? User login failure is telling me I've got 166,000 login failures across all of my tenants, which I'll mention here and give a little shout out for all. So we have multi-tenancy that's built into the platform. I can host many different customers in a single platform here. Okay, so what I'm looking at is visibility to all my tenants. So back to my 166,000 login failure events. A SIM tool will show you that. In a SIM tool, you will have to go create a query to identify what's critical to you. You're trying to look for, so the 166,000 is probably majority of them are fat-fingered login failures. Specifically, you know, people coming on a Monday morning, they forgot their password. This is across all the applications in my network. Right? So I simply have a wrong username password, big deal. What I'm actually looking for is the guy who's trying to hack into my network, the guy who's trying to brute force into the network. So a SIM tool, you can go in and investigate. We can do the same thing here. It's like, okay, I've got 166,000 login failures. Well, I need to go find out who the bad guy is. Let machine learning do its magic here. And here I'll click on critical. Once I click on critical, you can see I now have a single event that I need to go address and not worry about the 166,000 here. I can click on more information. Most platforms will stop right here and say, okay, here's your event. We're actually going to show you them a lot more evidence behind that specific event. Here we show you machine learning is telling you in that 5-minute period, typically I have 0 login failures, okay? Maybe you'll have 1 or 2 on another 5-minute window, but in this 5-minute window, I have typically 0 login failures. This particular user had 30 login failures. That's one evidence that says, yeah, this is not just a simple misusername password typed in. Okay, let's take a look at some more things. Well, I've also identified that this guy's had this behavior before. So his reputation is already being a brute forcer. I've also got the geolocation. I've got the application. If I had the username, I'd identify with the username as host name. So all of this information is consolidated into a single record here. So notice just from a couple of clicks, I was able to come down and identify what a critical event was. But from the same event, I didn't have to leave to go to another web page or another site somewhere to find out the information about that IP address. Okay, so this is now giving you further evidence like this really is a critical event. Most of the engineers out there will say, well, I want a packet capture because that's just usually what they always ask for. Well, we're going to give you that. We're going to give you as closest to a packet capture as you're going to get here. A packet capture is usually cryptic. We actually have this in a JSON format. This interflow record you're looking at, no matter what the log sources are coming in, you're going to have the same look and feel for this interflow record. You can get syslog messages coming in. You can get traffic coming in, events coming in. You can get events from Office 365, Google Suite, anywhere. All of that stuff gets normalized. It gets infused with additional threat intelligence data, as I showed you, and you have a single record here. Okay? So now that you've identified this was a brute forcer and this guy is a bad actor, what do? Generally, you may go to another tool and maybe send an email to somebody. So I'm going to send an email to somebody. I'll send an email here to Anya to say, Anya, take a look at this. Or I can send an email to a ticketing system and say, open up a ticket. I can also take an action directly from here to block it on my firewall. So I can say, yep, I've identified this guy as being bad. Go to my perimeter firewall, take that IP address, and for the next 15 minutes or 5 minutes, I want you to block that traffic going inbound or outbound, right? So from the same tool, I'm able to even take a response action directly from that event. Steve, any questions on the chat window I can answer?
Not yet, just getting a lot of thanks to Paul. So people enjoyed the magic, Snehal, but no technical questions yet. But that is a good reminder, folks. If you have a question for Snehal, would like to see something specific, that'd be totally optional, or up to you to ask. We're here for you. Thank you.
Yep. So Steve, let me continue. I have about 5-10 minutes on this, and I will walk through some additional components. So what I've just showed you to review was identifying a critical security event happening in your network, taking an action on it immediately. If you've got multiple tools in your network to go do that, it may take you hours. It may take you days sometimes if you've got millions of events that are coming in. But let machine learning do its job and do its magic and identify those critical security events. Let me switch up a little bit here, and let's talk about the platform. How is our platform different than your individual point products that you have, like we talked about SIM and UBA and IDS and things like that, okay? So we've got 4 key pillars in the platform: collect, detect, investigate, and respond. Let's talk about collection. Collection is one of the most important components in the platform. Collection means I'm going to collect data from everywhere in my network. If you're not collecting data or don't have visibility to certain parts of your network, the bad guys already know that, and that's where they're going to try to penetrate into your network. So having visibility across the entire network, no matter what the source is, we prevent blind spots, right? So you can see here, I'm collecting data from many different connectors via API. Any type of syslog messages will ingest and will parse. And any other types of data here, right? So now that we've collected data, what do? I've got the data, I've normalized it, I've infused it with additional threat intelligence information. Now I'm going to have my various different applications look for threats in the data. So I've got a malware application looking for threats in my data. So I'll look for spyware, ransomware, Trojanware, and things like that. I've got an IDS application that's built in looking for exploits in any of the data that I ingested. I've got user behavioral analytics I have built in. So I am now running machine learning on user information, okay? So I can look at things like the user logged in from Chicago, 5 minutes later logged in from Russia. That's an impossible travel anomaly. The user generally logs into these applications from 9 to 5. Why are they logged in at 2 a.m.? They generally use these 5 or 6 set of applications. Why are they using BitTorrents today, right? So I'm now having user behavior analytics also on my data that I ingested. I've also got phishing detections, looking for phishing anomalies. And one of the most powerful ones I've got is a network traffic analysis application. This is your competitive against your dark trace, right? So your dark trace is only ingesting network traffic. Here, we're also ingesting network traffic via sensors on span ports, whether they're physical or virtual networks, but we've got various different detections from a network perspective. Okay, so this is our network traffic analysis. So I've got static detections, security detections that I'm looking for, as well as machine learning is also looking for anomalies in the network. So this is my detection category. The next one we'll take a look at is my next generation SIM. Here under threat hunting, I can now manually go look for things. This is things that are specific to your network that you want to go do threat hunting for. And notice how quickly we can do this, right? So this is your standard Lucene searches, and possibly even in a Boolean format. So I can just do Russia here, as you can see. And I click on Russia, and I'll get results very quickly. So now I'm looking for keywords inside that metadata interflow record that I showed you earlier, right? You don't know what you're looking for? Then we also have a threat hunting library that's built in. This allows you to have the platform installed in a meeting you providing you value, because you don't have to go in there like a SIM tool to go create a bunch of queries and look for things. We're going to go ahead and do that for you. So these are some common things that we found with our security experience that people go look for. I want to look for non-standard port usage. I want to look for Office 365 anomalies. So you can see this pretty dashboard comes up, and I've got all sorts of detections on Office 365. I've got AWS CloudTrail. I want to look for, this is a really, really powerful one. Look at this. So I've got a detection here that looks for plain text passwords, applications that are using passwords in the clear, that anyone can go in there and see what the username password is. Here I can click on more information. And when I click on more information, you can see the username. The username was used as system, right? Look at what the password was used, system. So someone used a application, and the application here was FTP. I've got a username and password that was passed in the clear. So we're going to identify applications here that use passwords in the clear. Pretty powerful. And many other, you can see tons of Windows security detections. So again, collect the data, find security threats either via static detections or machine learning or on your own, and then take an action. But what if I want to take an action automatically, right? I don't want to come in here every 15 minutes and see all my critical events. Well, here with my playbook capabilities, I can go ahead and create a playbook that looks for things automatically and then takes an action. I've also got some pre-built templates to go and look for things. Let's just take an example here. I've got ransomware. I'm going to look for ransomware or spyware in my network. Once I click submit, it now just defined a template for every 5 minutes to go look for ransomware in my network. Great. If I do have a search result, if I find ransomware in my network, what should I do? the system can now automatically generate an email, automatically generate a trouble ticket, as well as automatically send a message to the firewall to block that traffic. I can disable the user. I can run a script. I can even send a API message to some device to take an action. So, and you can do multiple actions. Here I created an email as well as send a message to the firewall to block the traffic. And I can do this for any query that I can build, any security detection that I generated in the platform, right? So go there, we automate it, we run a playbook, and you'll have a response taken automatically where the SOC analyst doesn't have to go in there and take a manual response or go look for things over and over.
Thank you, Snehal.
Steve, any
Yeah,
questions?
thanks, Snehal. I think that was a great overview, and I think it is time to wrap. I just want to point out there are a lot of case studies on the web. There's lots of how-to videos. Many of them you've built, so you'll recognize the voice, folks, when you go back and listen to that. Thanks to everybody for attending. We will be following up early next week with a link so that you can watch this, and if you didn't capture that screen, and watch the demos again. So not Snehal's demo, but Paul's demo, so you can learn some magic tricks for the first bar or cocktail party you go to. Snehal, closing words, and then we'll wrap it up. And thanks to everybody for attending. Your thoughts?
Yep, thank you very much. Hope my demo was also as interesting as the card tricks, but feel free to reach out to us. We can go in and do a very extensive demo, and we'll get you all of the resources over to you. Again,
Perfect.
my name is Snehal Contractor, and I've got my MC Steve here. Please feel to reach out to any of us. All of our information is also on our website along with the partner portal.
Well said, Snehal. Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate you jumping on board for this big Zoom event, the first magic show in the security industry. I think that's a fair claim. With that, we'll sign off. Thanks, everybody. We'll be following up with the link shortly.